104.5. Brooke and Jubal's second date update.
The email for today's second date update said, "Help! I went out on the most romantic date of my life, and now he isn't calling me back."
Oh, no.
So I'm assuming if it's the most romantic date of your entire life, skee ball must have been involved, and probably a quarter pounder.
I would take
And
that,
maybe
actually.
finish up the evening with a dipped soft serve cone.
Oh, damn.
Man, that
That
is romantic.
Good.
We'll have to ask Heather and find out if that's what happened, though. Heather, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Good. So you went out on the most romantic date of your life, and now the dude isn't getting back to you.
Yeah.
Did it involve any of those things? Did you guys play skee ball?
No.
No?
Although that would have been fun.
Yeah.
Well, you said romantic, so I assumed skee ball
That's
wasn't.
fun, though.
Dude, where'd you meet the guy that you went on the most romantic date ever with?
Well, he actually does business with my dad. And, my dad is the type of guy who's always like, you should date my daughter. And,
Oh, no.
And yeah, and I'm usually pretty resistant, but he kept talking about this guy and just said he was really, really great. And he kind of convinced me, so
Hey.
I gave in, I guess.
You actually
God.
agreed to
And-
go on a date with somebody that your dad recommended.
Wow.
I know, it sounds crazy, but he sounded like a great guy. And then I met him, and he is. So
Yeah, that's the craziest part. You actually had to own up to your father that he was right.
that was the worst part.
What's his name, by the way, the guy that you went out with?
Trevor.
Trevor, okay. What was so special about him?
First of all, he's like super good looking, funny, smart, intelligent.
Wow.
I was skeptical, but he was everything my dad said.
Yeah.
Really?
Sounds like your dad had a
Oh
crush
my
on him.
God.
So what happened when you meet Trevor? Where'd you guys go?
He took me to this rooftop of a building, and there was this amazing dinner laid out with like flowers and
What?
wine. I mean, he had to have spent a lot of money to set that up.
Okay, wait, hold
Wow.
on, though. I would almost be freaked out. On a first date, walking into that is a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little weird at first, but I go on so many dates where it's just like, hey, let's go to the bar and get drunk, So when this happened, I was like, not going to say no or second guess anything.
That's very
So you
good
said
point.
a rooftop. Was it a rooftop deck at a restaurant? Because the way you said it sounds like it was just a private thing.
Yeah, it was just a private thing.
Oh,
It
my
wasn't
Wow.
even, yeah.
Whoa.
Okay, wait, and you hadn't hung out with this guy at all? Like, did you know anything really about him yet besides what your dad told you?
We talked a little bit leading up to it, and he just asked me what my favorite foods were. And then when we got there, he had chefs make my favorite foods.
Oh,
Wow.
Is he like...
It's too much. You're doing too much there, in my opinion.
Yeah, how do you follow that up with a second date? My God, that's why he's not calling you back. He's like, well, I did the best I could, and now it's over. We peaked already.
Maybe, but we had such a great time, and he said that he couldn't wait to see me again.
Yeah, how did you guys end everything? A helicopter ride?
We rode jetpacks over the city.
Yeah.
So on the way back to our cars, he stopped me and he said he really wants to kiss me, but then he's like,
Yeah.
I'm a gentleman, and I want to treat you with respect, so I want to wait a couple more dates to kiss you.
Oh, my
He
God.
is playing it so good, though. I
Jeez.
mean,
The man.
kind
Seriously.
of cheesy, but so on point.
Oh, my gosh. I'm blushing.
Yeah.
It was the best date of my life.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, it almost feel unreal, the whole thing. Like it was all just a dream.
It kind of did feel like that. And then
Wow.
after the date, we were texting for a couple days, and he was being really sweet and just telling me how much he wanted to see me again.
Oh, okay.
And then all of a sudden, he just stopped texting me, and I haven't heard from him.
What?
Have you had your dad check up on him?
No, I did ask my dad, though, if he'd talked to him recently. And, they don't work directly together. They just do business together. So
Right.
he said he hadn't talked to Trevor in a while
Oh.
and hadn't heard from him. And he said he would call, but I just thought that was too weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trevor,
Yeah.
Yeah.
this is Mr. Heather here. What's going on, bud? Why are you not calling my daughter back? That would be awkward.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Is there anything that you could think of why he would just stop talking to you?
No, I mean, we had a great date. I don't think so. He was the one being ultra romantic, so
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah.
imagine he was scared.
And the follow-up emails about how he can't wait to see you. Like, why would you even go there?
Yeah.
The whole thing just confuses me. I have no idea why he would just completely drop out of my life like that.
Well, we'll try to figure it out for you. We'll play a song, come back, call him, and get your second date update, okay?
Thank you so much.
All right, hang on.
Moving 92.5. Brooke and Jubal in the mornings. Second date update.
They say that romance is dead, but that's not true. Romance isn't dead. It just doesn't want to talk to you.
That's actually true in this case.
And that's what happened for today's second date update. If you're just joining us, Heather is on the phone. She actually went out on the most romantic date she's ever been on with a guy named Trevor, and now Trevor isn't calling her back. They actually met through her father, who does business with Trevor. I guess her dad's one of those guys that always recommends that people should date his daughter. You know how that goes. And she's usually skeptical, but she actually went out with this dude, and it ended up being the best date she's ever been on.
God, I'd say.
So now we need to call him and figure out why he's not getting back to her. Heather, here we go. You ready to call him?
Yep, I'm ready. I just really want to know what's happening.
I know.
It's like the best date of my life.
I'm really hoping for a reasonable explanation. But if I was going to play bad cop, do you think that there's any way that this guy may be like a super player and like, you know, the private chefs, the rooftop dinner,
He knows what he's doing.
the line at the end with the kiss?
Yeah, but those types of guys, you know, they just want to hook up with you and leave, and that never even happened. And plus, you spent a couple days texting with me.
Yeah,
he
it's a
didn't
good
even
point.
he didn't even kiss you. He actually said, "I want to kiss you so bad right now, but I'm a gentleman and I can't."
Even when you say that, it makes my heart melt, and you're not even Trevor.
Oh my God, I feel the same way, and I'm not even you.
All right.
I gotta start using
Well, let's call this dude and find out why he's not getting back to you.
Hello?
Hi, I was looking for Trevor.
This is Trevor. What do you got?
Trevor, how are you, man? This is Jubal from Brooke and Jubal in the Morning.
What is that?
That is a radio show.
Jubal is your name?
Yes, it is. How are you?
I'm great. Good morning. What can I do for
Good
you?
morning. Well, I actually have a question
God.
about a date that you went on. One of our listeners emailed us about you. And I'll just get to brass tacks. I can tell you're a business kind of guy.
Yeah, he straight to the point here.
Okay, whatever. Do what you need to do.
All right. So here's the deal. You recently went out with a girl named Heather. You remember going out with Heather?
I do remember going out with Heather, yes. Why are you asking me about it now?
Well, because Heather emailed us saying that after your date, which was the most romantic date she's ever been on, by the way, after your date, you stopped texting her, and she's wondering why.
Wow. That's a real grown-up move there, Heather.
What?
Ah.
Wait, I don't get it. Like, are you upset by that? Are you being sarcastic or?
That she emailed the radio station to complain about why I'm not calling her after our date.
It wasn't
not,
a complaint.
Not to complain about it. She's just like in the dark. She doesn't know why you stopped talking to her.
Mm-hmm. Well, all I can say is I'm good there.
You're good there.
What? Wait, you're telling me that you're good there and you put that much effort into a first date?
We talked to Heather, and she told us about the date you took her on, the private meal on a rooftop with all of her favorite foods made by private chefs.
Yeah.
That's a lot to do for a lady.
That's kind of just what I do.
That's what you do on all your first dates?
No, it's just kind of what I do in life. It's little details are important, and if you can ace the details, then you're going to ace the test.
Okay.
Okay, so-
it's not a test.
So this wasn't even that crazy of a first date for you.
For me, no.
For her,
So it was for her, yes.
Right. Okay.
I
Whoa.
knew it would be that way, and it was all by design.
You knew
Okay,
it would
wait.
be that way.
I'm confused. The way she described you, you were charming, you were romantic, and right now you're coming off as kind of a smug a-hole.
Well, you call me in the middle of my business day in a situation like this, I'm not going to be particularly happy about it.
Whoa.
All right.
Okay,
so
I can
we can get you
understand
on the
that.
phone as quick as possible if you wouldn't mind just telling us why you're not wanting to talk to her.
Look, we had a lovely time, and I got what I wanted out of the date.
What?
You get what
didn't
you
even
wanted
kiss
out of
her,
it, but
dude.
you didn't even kiss her at the end. What did you want out of it?
Dinner?
If you must know, I did it for a business deal.
What?
You did it for a business deal going out with her.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
I sometimes do business with her father,
Yeah, she told us that.
and sometimes in a deal. The numbers can all line up and it can all look great, but it's really the personal touch that closes. And this guy clearly had a soft spot for his daughter. She was a good-looking gal. He mentioned that it might be a good idea that I date her, so I called her up and I took her on the best date of her life.
So you're telling me that you used her as a stepping stone in your little effing career?
I'm not saying that, no, but I will tell you that 2 days later I closed the deal.
You are, oh my.
So,
Once the money comes in.
so you took her out just to close a deal with her father?
Not just to close the deal. We had a nice time. She had a nice time, I'm sure. It wasn't a wasted night in her life.
Yes, it was.
dude.
You were texting her afterwards and you couldn't wait to see her again. You played with her emotions. You totally let her on. You're a total
Jeez, Brooke.
Look, you can call me names all you want, but I'm just being honest with you guys. You called me, and I'm the one closing multi-million-dollar deals on a regular basis.
Whoa.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you didn't have
great.
to, like...
use
I mean,
people.
couldn't you just go, yeah, sure, I'll go out with your daughter and take her on a regular date and not try to be super romantic about it?
So I should take her on a date?
Or,
I guess-
hey, I don't know. Maybe you just don't use his daughter at all and you're actually a good businessman and you make a deal without having to use somebody's daughter in the process of it.
Listen, sweetheart, in business, you do whatever you need to do to close the deal, okay? I close the deal. The day that you're doing things like that, you can come talk to me, but I'm the one who knows my business.
good Lord.
And by the way, her dad offered her up,
She's
so I'm going
not
to take advantage of that.
a bonus structure, you asshole.
Dad's fault.
You are an asshole. He didn't offer me up. Oh, my God.
Oh.
Boy.
Yeah.
All right, what's going on here?
Trevor, that's Heather. She's actually on the other line listening and wanted to talk to you.
Brooke.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, it is.
You f***ing used me. You took me on this romantic dinner. You told me all these things that you loved about me, how you wanted to see me again. Like, what the hell was that? That was...
And you had a great time, right?
Yeah, I had a great time because I believed you really liked me.
I do like you, Heather, but that doesn't mean I'm going to marry you. That doesn't mean that we're obligated to have anything beyond that night.
Oh, man.
You are the biggest ass I have ever met in my entire life. I've never met someone as awful as you. Ever.
I don't really have much of a response to that. All I can say is that at the end of the day, ask yourself this question. Were you going home with me if I asked you?
No.
I saw the look in your eye at the end of the night. If I wanted to take you home with me, I 100% could have. And I didn't. I didn't even kiss you. I respectfully ended the night with you. So when it comes down to it, I was a true gentleman, no matter what you might think about.
Really? Really? You were a gentleman by wasting my time just to get a business deal with my father.
At what point did I sign a contract with you that gave me any obligation with you whatsoever?
You have an obligation just to be a good human being. Like, life is not business. You don't do this to people.
I never once treated you unkindly or disrespectfully until you called the radio station trying to call me out.
He's right.
Yeah.
No, he's not right.
He didn't
It's
treat her
totally-
badly when they went out.
He treated her like an object, okay? Whether he said it to her face or not, that's as disrespectful as you freaking get.
He was nice about it.
Oh my God, you guys are idiots.
I'd like to go out on a
Yeah,
nice
but then
date.
you stopped texting me completely. So I don't really think that that's treating me well. Do you? Just leaving somebody hanging like that after taking them on an amazing
Yeah.
date? You couldn't even just be honest and be like, actually, I went out with you to close the deal. Like,
Oh, that's
I
kind of...
might have even respected that a little more, but I had to call a radio station and get them to talk to you? Give me a break. I'm going to tell my dad to pull the deal with you. Like,
Well, it's a little late to pull the deal. Deal's closed, so it's not going to happen.
Dude, Trevor, how do you have like zero remorse whatsoever?
You know, I might feel a little bad about it, but when I open my bank account, I feel pretty good about how my business is going.
Oh my God, you narcissistic.
I feel sorry for you because you may say you have a bunch of money and you love your business, but you have no heart and no soul, and I pity you. You're going to end up alone.
Look, you never would have known about any of this if you hadn't done this bull thing that you're doing right now.
I would have
You could
still
have,
been
you
wondering.
could have
I
had the
actually
fantasy
really
for the rest
liked
of your
you.
life of the guy that you could have had, and whatever happened to him? Well, we sure had a nice time that night.
Why not try to have another nice time? Trevor,
that's
would you like to
good.
go out on a second date with Heather? I know you have money, but we'll pay for it.
Please don't even offer that. I don't want to go.
Are you sure?
You know what, Heather? I think there's another deal that might be good for your dad in a couple of months, so maybe we just wait until then.
Oh my God, you did not.
Oh, Trevor, I can guarantee you my dad will not be doing any more deals with you.
Trevor, thank you for being brutally honest with us.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Oh my God, I'm angry.
Heather, I'm sorry you had to find out that you were just a pawn in his game of trying to get some business done with your dad.
Yeah.
I guess it goes to show you don't listen to your dad anymore.
That's a good point.
Brooke and Jubal in the morning.
Text message in at 78592 that says, I honestly like this guy's style. I'm a businessman, and I would do the same thing to get my sale.
That is
he is
so
money-driven,
gross, man.
and she was leverage, and he used it. It's Brooke and Jubal in the morning talking about the second date update. If you missed it, this girl, Heather, wanted to call a dude named Trevor. Trevor took her out on the most amazing date she's ever been on. She went out with Trevor because her dad was like, hey, I know this guy. I do business with him. He's really great. You should go out with him. Her dad does that all the time, I guess. She usually says no, but she said yes this time and had a wonderful date. We got Trevor on the phone to find out why he wasn't calling back. And it turns out he just went out with her so he could close a deal with her dad. He said he wanted to show her the best time of her life, and he did, so that she would go back to her dad and like rave about it, and he could get the deal done.
This
and
is
it worked.
so gross. I mean, I don't know how people are supporting him. He's using like another human being as a pawn in a business deal that has nothing to do. Like, maybe if she was involved in the business or something, I would maybe understand it a little bit more.
I actually thought this guy was going to get ripped more than he is. It's pretty split. There's a lot of people that are like he's kind of a douchebag, but there are a lot of people texting in like, man, you got to do what you got to do to get a sale done.
So gross.
Some people are like, well, at least he didn't use her and like sleep with
Yeah,
her.
he didn't. He didn't kiss her. Didn't do anything like that. He just took her out on a great date, showed her a great time, and got the business done. And I guess, according to our text message board and our listeners, that's what life is all about.
Yeah, you guys are messed up. We need to talk priorities in a little while, okay?
Want to do a second date update? All you have to do is email the show, and we will call the person who didn't call you back.
Moving 92.5.